Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Danielle, and I'm with Hawaii State Public Library System, and we're so glad you've joined us for our program on Pono fishing. This program is part of our statewide summer reading program, and we are celebrating the theme of Tales and Tales. We're highlighting animals from across the land and sea, and through this talk on Pono fishing, we hope that everyone can learn about how we can become better stewards of our oceans and wildlife. Tonight, we are going to focus on the island of Hawaii. Joining us are two specialists from the Department of Land and Natural Resources, John Kahiapo from the Division of Aquatic Resources and CJ Cow from the Protected Species Program. First, we'll start with John. John, you can go ahead and turn on your video and microphone. Thanks for joining us. We also wanted to say congratulations. We heard about you being recognized for 30 years of volunteer work with DoCare, and that's so wonderful. And we just wanted to say congratulations and thank you again for sharing your knowledge with us.
Oh, well, my pleasure.
Okay.
Great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So yeah, I guess we can go ahead and get started with your presentation. Audience members, please feel free to ask questions by putting them in the Q&A box. And then we will ask John some questions once he's done with this presentation. So thanks so much.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is John Kahiapo. I represent two divisions. The Division of Aquatic Resources with DLNR and the Division of Conservation and Resource Enforcement. So this shows that our division is under the state of Hawaii. Okay, next. As they refer everyone who works for this department as DLNR. Okay, next. So we're going to be going over the so under DLNR, you have all these different divisions, and each division they have their own area of responsibility, and this list just shows the 10 divisions, but you also have other commissions that that's involved too. Okay, next. So we're going to focus on aquatic resources. Aquatic resources is the division that responsible for conducting research to develop management plans that protects Hawaii's aquatic resources. Okay, next. So what does DAR do? There's all the different areas of responsibility. Conserve and manage aquatic environments. So it's with our shoreline, coral reefs, nearshore fisheries, pelagic fisheries, bottom fishing, rivers, our streams, and also anchoring pools and estuaries. So also protected, threatened, and endangered aquatic species that CJ is going to go over. And conserve, and so we just go down the list, all what we have here. Next, protect and manage fisheries, and so we all. Oh, I gotta get my props. So aquatics is responsible for developing the rules. So we have all of the rules, and the last part that we have for what DR does is with education and outreach. So it's this is one of the management plans that we've developed is all Hawaii state rules. Here you go, next one. So this is an example of the current Hawaii fishing regulation. This regulation has all the rules for the whole state of Hawaii. Okay? And the next page that shows shows next page shows how this book is set up. You have regulated species, you have marine protected areas, gear restrictions. So for each island they have all the specific rules. And you also have the next one. We have these rulers, and you can get them. You can get them at any of our Aquatic Resources office. It's given upon request. But the fishing regulation book that you have here, you can get it at any DLNR office, plus at any fishing supply store. It's given free. But you got to remember, you have this date that you have here, and if you get one and you keep it for several years, and then you're going to use it again, you want to make sure it's up to date to find out if your booklet is up to date. You call in the back. You have the numbers of all the different on the different islands, the Aquatic Resources offices. Okay, so this is all part of Pono fishing. Part of Pono fishing is knowing the rules. It's your responsibility to know the rules, because all these rules are produced so that you have a balance between what is taken and what is being reproduced. That way, everybody has a chance to go fishing. Fishing is such an important activity here in Hawaii. Okay, next. Next, we're going over conservation enforcement. How are these rules enforced? It's all done by the enforcement division with DOCARE. Okay, next. You see DOCARE, Division of Conservation and Resource Enforcement. Next, and this is the mission. The mission all is going around protecting the limited natural culture historical resources, and that's all for future generations of visitors and our residents. So it's a big mission that they have, and it's I'm going to be showing more about the Big Island, okay? And it just shows the kind of area that our officers cover here on Hawaii Island. Okay, next one. So this kind of shows you the comparison of landmass, coastline, and territorial waters that's here on Big Island compared to the rest of the state. So here is the big. That's why they call it the Big Island. It's a lot of area that's covered here by our officers. Next. So this kind of give you an idea how big the island is, with all the different islands that can fit in Hawaii Island. Okay, next. So for conservation enforcement, the island is divided into 3 different districts. Up north, you have the North Hawaii District. You have 4 officers there. The boundaries is from Waikoloa on the west side, and it goes all the way to the east side to Kalopa, near the Pauilo, between Pauilo and Honoka. So that you have 4 officers there. So the west side, you have 6 officers. That's from Waikoloa all the way down to South Point. And then from South Point all the way up along the east side, all towards Hamakua, you have the East Hawaii District there. And you have 9 officers there. Part of the plan is to develop a South Hawaii District. And hopefully with new recruit classes, that those positions can be filled. Yeah. So part of Pono fishing is being able to report violations. Okay? And that's all part of our responsibility. We see something wrong going on, you can report it. You can report it without even encountering those the people involved with that activity. And one of the ways, because next one is on reporting violations. Okay, that's through the DLNR tip app. You just go. You can get it on iTunes. It's free, or Google Play, and it as soon as you open it, it shows how to report it. The only thing that you have to remember is the name that you put down. You have to put down the island, because sometimes the name of you get the same names for different islands, and you have to, and they show if there's a part that you can put down your location, but you want to make sure when you put your location in there that you're at the scene, at the spot, and you're not doing them from home or at Costco. Okay, next. So another way to report incidents is also calling the hotline. DoCare has a hotline. That's the 643 DLNR 643-3567. And also you have a list on the below that hotline number for the different islands. You can, all these numbers for the islands, they all go to the main office on each island. And what they do is that they get the report, they get the complaint, and then it goes to the district supervisors who then issues out the case to an officer. Okay, so these are the guidelines for reporting. One of the main things that you want to understand if you're going to report violation is that you don't want to confront the people. You want to use your observation skills when you're reporting the violations. Okay, and if you're going to take pictures, you got to make sure that you do it from a safe distance. You cannot make like gangbusters and use your car or you're going to stop the person or touch the person. That's the last thing you want to do. You never touch anybody when you getting all the information down. Okay, next. So these are the details. This is what an officer needs. When that way he can, if everything is in place, a case can be generated and follow-ups can be conducted. So it's all using the 4 W's, like say who, where, what happened, who, what happened, where it happened, who was involved, and how this violation was conducted. So you need all this information. When you're describing a suspect, a person, it's easy. Would be easier when you start from the head and work your way down. Hair color, hairstyle, skin color, all the anything that's going to help the officer, especially vehicle license plate number of vessel HA number. Be as specific as you can. Okay, this is I want to do an exercise with you guys. I want you guys to see over there. I want you guys to look at the fish called the moi. So the moi, it's close season right now. Okay, and then I'm going to give you guys a scenario, and I want you guys to answer it on chat if you guys know the answer, and because every year officers come across come across the same thing every year, same violation. Okay, if you, this is the scenario. You out fishing you fishing, because you see the owama running. So you catch an owama, you put one owama on your hook, on your rod and reel, you cast them out, hoping that you're going to get one papio. But you get one bite, you bring the fish in, it's a moi. Okay, already you know moi season is closed. But you look at the fish is dead. Okay, what is the right thing to do with that fish? You guys can answer on chat and we'll discuss this later on. Okay, next. So, part of Pono fishing, the most important part of fishing, of any outdoor activity, is safety. So this is shoreline safety. Shoreline safety is so that's one thing when you go fishing, you have to have the safety mindset all the time because there's so much stuff that can hurt you when you're out there fishing. Okay, so next, I want you guys, if you can play this video, see if the video can play. Oh, no volume. That's okay. We can go over it. Okay, let's go. Next video, next slide. To go on the side and click. Oh, try go off on the side and click the. Oh, there we go. All right. Here we go. This is a few safety tips. Before you go out, you got to make sure you know how the weather going to be, because the weather can change and the sea conditions can change. And you want to check the tide when you check your tide. You want to make sure you calculate the time for highs and lows according to your island, the side on your island. Yeah, don't fish alone. You wanna fish with other people, with a buddy. It's good to have a fishing plan when you're going out. Leave the plan with family members back home. Take a cell phone. Know your place, especially for shoreline fishing. Know the place that you're going fishing. Also, it would be good to know about the historic background of that place. Especially with cell phone, when you want to know about the dead areas for your cell phone, so you know where you can stand, where you get good signal. Okay, you want to also practice, where come with the proper fishing attire. Tubbies, get plan for the sun, plan for the rain, hat, glasses, sunscreen, and make sure you got the right equipment. Bring the right equipment. Especially, I want to just show this. This is especially for spear fishermen. Spear fishermen, you need this. You need this dive buoy, and especially this flag, this dive flag. Okay, this is one thing that officers always have to terminate somebody's spearfishing plan. You guys got to come back in when they don't have a dive flag. Okay, that you can buy them easy. Okay, and also the last part, I'm speaking about our speaking to our Big Island people. Right now, it's always good to have some kind of awareness of making a tsunami escape plan. Here on Hawaii Island, we have history of earthquakes causing locally generated tsunamis. The most recent one that we had was back in 1975 out at Halape, the Volcano National Park. A party of campers from Boy Scouts. Two people drowned during the earthquake, and a tsunami followed, and it happened so fast. So what we're telling people is that when you feel the ground move under your feet, and you're down at the shoreline, get to higher ground. That's one thing you want to do. Park your vehicle. Make sure it's facing towards the escape direction. So that something like that happens, you can get in the car. Work it out with your family if you guys are going to be separated. Where you guys going to meet? All this we gotta keep in the back of our mind, because for Hawaii Island, that earthquake and tsunami that happened, when that earthquake happened, it was between 10 and 30 seconds that it hit Halape. And then that same earthquake, after that earthquake, it only took 20 minutes for it to reach Hilo. So that's how quick it is. All along from from Volcano, just all the Puna coastline, and heading towards Hilo, Hamakua, that's how fast it moved. But that's why we need to have that always when we're down at the shoreline. That's all part of Pono fishing. Okay, next. All right, so this is all part of safety. I want you guys to look at the list of all those marine organisms on that page. If somebody can tell me the Hawaiian name to one of the organisms, there's another Hawaiian name that is used for that marine organism that it kills people every year. If you guys know the answer, you guys can put them in the chat. Okay, what is the other Hawaiian name for that marine one of those crustaceans, one of those animals that kills people every year, but there's another Hawaiian name for it. Okay, next. All right, in concluding, I just wanted to leave this with you guys. Is that part of Pono fishing? Okay, is just to remember the 4 R's. Respect Hawaii's natural resources, environment, follow all rules and regulations, and report all violations to the hotline or the DLNR tip app. Happy fishing, everybody. And we'll go over the answers in the end. Okay.
Thank you. That was so interesting. We got a couple questions.
Okay.
Can you just go over again where you can get a copy of the rule book and the ruler? I think people just want to make sure they know where to get it.
Yeah, the ruler is that you can call your island Division of Aquatic Resources office, and they have the rulers there. The book, you can find it at all your area fishing regulation stores, and or other DLNR offices like boating, forestry. They all have it there.
Okay, great. Thank you. We also had a question. The phone numbers for reporting a violation, are they answered on weekends as well?
Yeah, it may not be answered, but you leave a message, okay? Because they're periodically they're checking. Nobody might answer some. They might not answer it, but it will be taken care of.
Awesome. Thank you. We do have another question, but I think it's more for us at the library system. And they were asking, how can you get a copy of this program about doe care in the Big Island presented today? So we are recording it and it's going to be put on our YouTube. It takes about a week. So if you signed up for this program, you'll get an email that has a link to it. But if you have friends and maybe you want to send it to them, they can go to our YouTube channel and I'll put the link to that in chat. But did you want to go over the answers to your questions, or you want to wait to the very end, give people more time
to the very end? Maybe they get the answers. Somebody would answer it.
Okay, yeah, because I'm curious. I want to know.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, John. That was great.
Okay.
All right. I think now we're going to turn it over to CJ. Okay. Hey, CJ, are you ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. I'll let you take over.
Okay, thank you, Uncle John, for that presentation. 1 second while I switch over. Okay, so hello everyone. Once again, my name is CJ Kao, and I work for the Division of Aquatic Resources Protected Species Program. So today I'll be talking about some of the animals we work with, along with some of the outreach education that we do. So our program can be found statewide. We're on all of the major islands. I am, of course, the Big Island or Hawaii Island Outreach and Education Associate. And we do a variety of things. So our main focus is outreach, educational outreach. We do go to different schools and organizations and do presentations, just educating the public about marine safety and also the marine species that are endangered. We also help with facilitating research, as well as monitoring the shorelines for these endangered species. And we also participate in debris removal, such as marine debris and disease reduction. So once again, this is Hawaii Island, and being so large, I can't do it alone. So I have the opportunity to work with different departments and divisions in helping make sure that this is a nice, safe place for not only humans, but the animals as well. If I can draw your attention to the screen on the left, you'll see some of the species that we work with. So we work with a variety of different whales and dolphins, the Hawaiian monk seal, sea turtles, oceanic white-tip sharks, and the oceanic manta ray. And all of these species can be found on or near shore Hawaii Island. Sorry, let me just move my camera real quick so I can see my slides. Okay. Perfect. Oh, no. Sorry, technical difficulties. Hold on, I just lost my slides, guys. My apologies. Let's put it up again. There we go. Why does it keep taking me there? Okay. All right, sorry about that, technical difficulties. But if you've been following the Pono Fishing Library presentations, every week we're highlighting different islands. Once again, we're talking about the Big Island today. And one unique thing about the Big Island is we get a large amount of marine debris. That is because of the different garbage patches located in the Pacific Ocean and the way the global conveyor belt, which is the ocean currents, work. So if you've ever been to the southern end of the island, you know that there's all types of trash and marine debris that actually land on our shorelines from all over the world. So we do acknowledge the fact that fishing is more than just more than a sport. You know, fishing is a great way for you to go spend time with your family members out in nature, teaching kids how to kilo, which is observations. They become familiar with areas and tide patterns and other types of things. And as you get older, fishermen are able to actually see what's happening out in the field. They're usually some of our first reporters telling us what's happening in different situations. So we also promote ike kupuna, which is essentially the passing of knowledge from generation to generation. And fishing is a great way for that to happen. Lots of us have experiences, I'm sure, of being on the shoreline, fishing with your parents or family, and lots of memories for that. And also, if you talk to any old kupuna, any old fisherman, they usually have all these great stories and experiences that they can share and pass on to you. But one thing I noticed is that every time you talk to a kupuna, they always had this story of like, they always end the stories with, oh, now it's not the same, you know, or now no can. And that really brings up the question of why are things changing and how are things changing? And that is what we want to help with Pono fishing. There are different ways to harvest fish here in Hawaii, from spear fishing to throw net to dunking, whipping, you name it. And all of these can be done sustainably, as long as you have a right Pono mindset. Unfortunately, a lot of our commercial fisheries don't have this mindset, this Pono mindset, and this can cause a lot of damage to our ecosystems, as well as some of our protected species as well. So just to be clear, we're not saying you can't fish. By all means, please fish. Please get out there, enjoy nature, and feed your families. But we're saying that you can fish responsibly, and we can actually coexist with these endangered animals and protected species. So now I'll be talking about some of the species that we get to work with. The first ones are sea turtles. So we have the honu, which is the green sea turtle, and the honu ea, which is the hawksbill. These are the most two common types of species found here in Hawaii. The green sea turtle is the most common. You'll see them along the shoreline basking or sometimes cruising the reef. And then we also have the hawksbills, which are a little bit deeper. They're more of a rare sight, but they're really cool animals. And some ways you can tell the difference is really simple. So just like its name applies, the hawksbill has a very pointed beak, just like a hawk, compared to the flat nose of the sea turtle. Also, you can tell by the shape of the shell. Hawksbills tend to have a more serrated edge, while the green sea turtle has a more smooth edge. And this is why the hawksbills were hunted for the trophies, for the trophy shells. Unfortunately, these sea turtles do face a variety of different threats, one of them being disease. So fibropapillomatosis is a virus that causes tumor growths on these sea turtles. It is not harmful to humans. However, if the tumors do get large enough, it can actually inhibit the sea turtles' eating and swimming behavior, and this can have negative impacts on the animal's health. Another common theme you'll be seeing throughout the presentation is rubbish in the ocean. They can consume it, they can entangle it, and this does include fishing nets, hooks, and line. They also face more threats from human interactions. We do not encourage people to touch or feed them or disturb them in any way. And at nighttime, the hatchlings, when they hatch out of the nest, actually use the moonlight to find their way back to the ocean. So if there's other sources of light, such as headlamps, car lights, or hotels, these hatchlings can actually get lost and they won't find their way to the ocean. And unfortunately, a lot of them do die. We also discourage driving on the beaches because if you drive over a sea turtle nest, you can actually, one, crush the eggs, or two, actually compact the sand down so tight that when the hatchlings try to get out, they're unable to dig their way out. A big message that we spread from NOAA is that it's okay to help if you accidentally hook a sea turtle. If you do accidentally hook a sea turtle and there's a safe area for you and the animal, you can bring it in to shore and cut as close as you can to the hook. The hook will rust out over time, but the fishing line is the one that actually has negative effects, the most impact on the sea turtle. It can wrap around the flippers, it can get caught on the reef, and this can cause a lot of injuries or even death to these animals. So we do have phone numbers you can call if you have any injured sea turtles. You can just Google it or just find these stickers. NOAA has a hotline response and they'll get it to the appropriate authorities. So just like the honus, the monk seals also face similar threats. They are very curious animals. So when they go check out fishing nets or other types of debris, sometimes they get tangled and sometimes they consume it as well. So rubbish is a big issue, especially here on Hawaii Island, because once again, all those oceanic patches of garbage are coming down to our island. They also face a variety of environmental factors. So due to sea level rise and beach erosion, there's less habitat for them to come out and haul out onto the beach. And monk seals do need beaches to come out and rest on, and also to give birth to their pups and raise their pups. There are cases of starvation. They're competing with other apex predators and humans for the same food source. And in some cases, premature weaning is also an issue. Essentially, this means that a young female, usually the first-time mother, will sometimes leave the pup before it's ready, which leads to the starvation of the pup. We have observed strike predation in the northwestern Hawaiian Islands, and male seal aggression is, in some situations, if a young male seal sees a pup that isn't his, he may become aggressive towards it. The final species we'll be talking about today are false killer whales. So we have some populations here in the state of Hawaii, and the population has declined from 500 to about 150 to 200 left, which is unfortunate. And they face a variety of threats as well. The reason why they declined is from pollutants in the water. Once again, they're competing with the same food sources for everybody else. They do get entangled in fishing gear and are known to eat hooked fish from boats. And there was a time period in which humans were intentionally shooting these animals to try and save the catches if they accidentally hooked them. These images show that we can see from these images that these false killer whales are interacting with fishing gear and marine debris, whether it be fishing line cutting into the dorsal fin, propellers hitting the fins, the backs as well. In the top right, you'll see a hook mouth injury on this false killer whale. And if these injuries get any worse, it can actually have negative impacts on the animal or causes death. We did have 4 false killer whales strand themselves and die on the Big Island. Oh, sorry, there were 4 false killer whales that did strand, and we did necropsies on them. Out of the 4, 2 of them had fishing hooks and fishing gear inside them. Now, just to be clear, we cannot say that this was the cause of death. However, once again, it does show that they are interacting with these types of gear. One thing that we share with the public is the research done by Cascadia. Cascadia comes a couple times a year, and they do surveys, essentially looking for these false killer whale pods. And we show these fishermen where these hotspots are or where they're more common. So red being the almost every day we see them, versus other areas green, which is less common. And the reason why we share this with fishermen is, if you're planning on fishing, for example, north, and it's a hot zone, just be aware that they're around, or possibly go fishing another place. That's also another way that's another solution as well, with reducing the amount of interactions with these animals and potentially losing fish to them. So what can we do if we see endangered animals? If you're just fishing along the shoreline and you see like a Pono cruising by, just kind of bring your lines and wait. Just wait for him. Most of the times, the sea turtles will just cruise along and move. If like a monk seal hauls out next to you or something like that, we are at the Big Island, so we have lots of shoreline. So you can always move it further down the shoreline and just move locations and respect the space. Additionally, if there's an animal stealing your fish or catch, or you see somebody doing something to these endangered animals that's not Pono, we have a bunch of different hotlines you can call and phone numbers for each species. And that will allow outdoor care officers like Uncle John to respond. So our main project is the barbless circle hook project. So we are encouraging fishermen to try out barbless hooks, which still catch fish, but it's also a more Pono way to fish as well. The reason why we encourage the use of barbless hooks is in case of an accidental hooking of for example, a monk seal, as you can see in the image, a barbless hook is more likely to come out by itself over time, or in some cases, the animal can actually shake its head and lose the hook itself. So for those of you not familiar with a barbless hook or what a barb is just a little piece of metal right there on the top left. All we're doing is smashing it down. The barb was invented to help keep your bait on, not necessarily the fish on. And the reason why we really promote the use of circle hooks is the design of the circle hook is very unique and very strong. It's actually designed to be swallowed by the fish, so for an lure, for example, and as the fish swims away and turns its head, the hook comes back out and actually hooks into the jawbone of the fish. And any fisherman you talk to, including myself, will tell you that once the hook gets past this little bend, it is very hard to remove from that jaw of the fish. And just like whether using barbed or barbless, just keep steady pressure and hopefully you can land some big fish. If you look at the ancient Hawaiian hooks, a lot of them were actually barbless too. And this was due to the fact of the materials they were using. Whether it be wood or bone, it's very hard to carve a barb into these hooks. Some did have barbs, but once again, it was very hard to design them like this. And as we know, they fed the entire ahupua'as and villages and communities with fish. So they still caught lots of fish using barbless hooks. So I get asked a lot of how to make a barbless hook. It's really simple. For the small ones, you get regular player pliers and just smash down the barb nice and flat. For the larger ones, we use crimp. So little hooks, the 12-0 to 16-0s, we get larger crimps and same thing, just squeeze till it's nice and flat. Some guys do file or grind it. However, if you misjudge the depth, this can actually have an effect on the integrity of the hook. So there's a lot of common there's a misconception that barbless hooks will make you lose more fish. So we actually conducted studies of some fishermen, half of them using barb, half using barbless. And long story short, we found that there was no significantly statistical difference between the loss rate of barbed versus barbless hooks. So once again, steady pressure and good luck, and hopefully get some fish. And the great thing about barbless hooks is a lot of fishing tournaments nowadays have barbless hook categories. And we highly encourage fishermen to enter these because just for entering into the barbless category, you can still win the main prizes of the tournament, but you get put into an additional pool of prizes that we usually donate, whether it be Ulua fishing gear or buckets, or all kinds of stuff we donate. Just for fishing barbless, you have a higher chance of winning some super cool stuff. Image in the middle is the Tokunaga Ulua Challenge from 2 years ago. They haven't had it for 2 years due to COVID, but it's the last one they had. The first place fish was 124.5 pound Ulua caught on a barbless hook. So once again, these hooks do work. And as you can see in the top right image, once it's in there, it's locked in there. So the three main messages that we have for barbless hooks and why we should use them is: one, is it better for endangered marine wildlife? Two, if you do plan on catching and releasing, or you hook something that you don't want to keep, like for example, an out of season moi, you can actually, the barb causes less damage, and when you release the fish, it'll be able to feed properly and get bigger so you can catch it in the future. And the final message is, it's better for personal safety. So any fisherman, including myself, will tell you, if you ever accidentally hooked yourself in the skin or even your clothing, is not a good time, right? If you have a big hook inside of you with a barb, you usually have to go to the ER and get it surgically removed. We are also encouraging people with a commercial marine license to report sightings of these endangered species. So anybody who owns a CML has to do a catch report at the end of the trip, right? On the very bottom, you can actually, there's a little comment box down here. And all you have to say is like, I saw a monk seal at Mahiula Beach at 6 a.m. And that's all you have to put. All the information, the rest of the information on your CML is actually confidential. We do not share it with anybody. And that's all we see. We only see that little comment box that says, I saw this animal at this time at this location. And that information can be worth a wealth of knowledge to a scientist and the local community. So once again, you can find us anywhere and everywhere, whether it be school presentations, fishing stores, fishing tournaments, community festivals. Wherever we are invited, we love to show up and give out free samples of the fishing rulers, barbless hooks, and other cool supplies for the children and for the general public to actually enjoy and try out. And once again, just to sum things up, we all love fishing. Me and my friends, we go out just like many of you guys every weekend, go on a Saturday, go fishing, diving or fishing, get together on a Sunday, clean fish, fry it up and eat them. So it's a great lifestyle choice, but all of us agree that we want to be Pono fishermen so that when our children are here in the future, they can experience these same situations as us, these same memories and good positive experiences. Yeah, so overall, the final message is just how you can kukua, be responsible in Pono. Just try barbless hooks. If you see these endangered animals, you can move locations. Be line conscious, which means be aware of where your fishing line or your fishing gear is, which is also a human health hazard as well. If you see any trash on the beach, feel free to pick it up and dispose of it properly, and educate others. If you see someone doing something inappropriate, try to educate them. And if it's not working out, then you can call the DLNR officers or dole care, and we can follow up from there. So once again, mahalo everyone for paying attention and your time. And I'll now answer any questions you may have.
Hey, great. Thanks, CJ. I learned stuff. That was great. We do have, I know, one question, so let me pull that up. The media often reports about Hawaiian monk seals being harassed on Oahu or Kauai, mainly by tourists. And does that happen on Hawaii Island? I think we just don't hear about it much, or?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So the basis behind that is, this is my guess, is that on Hawaii Island, we only have about 7 to 8 monk seals at a time, sometimes 10. But we have a smaller population of monk seals on Hawaii Island, so these interactions are less likely compared to the islands which are more north, such as Kauai and stuff, who have larger populations. The social media thing that has been happening lately is people have been posting them harassing monk seals. That has found its way to our offices, And I believe it was on the news. Some of the couples were fined for it. So that kind of social media stuff does help us enforce these situations.
Awesome. Thank you. I was wondering about that as well, because it seems like it's happening a lot. Oh, I have a question about what's your background? And if somebody was interested in wanting to do this type of work, what would they need to do? Yeah.
Oh, great question. Yeah. So FY, I'm born and raised in West Side, Kona side. I'm currently living in Hilo. So I grew up fishing and stuff. And that led me to go to college and basically get my bachelor's in marine science. And I just finished my master's of science in tropical conservation. So definitely having the educational background helps as well. But I also encourage people to just get involved with the community and volunteer services. So for example, on the Kona side, we have something called Kekai Ola, which is the Monks Hill Hospital. They have a great volunteer network. You really get involved with the animals and help respond to it. Other than that, just try volunteering with other nonprofit organizations. We do work with Hawaii Wildlife Fund, which is marine debris removal group as well. They have volunteer days and just volunteering. And from there, for me at least, that is how I found my boss in my career as well. So it's a great in, having the educational background and the volunteer experience, because it really shows that you're passionate about what you're doing.
Awesome. Thank you for telling us that. I know we had people ask in previous sessions about wanting to be involved and wanting to help out. So getting some of those names of different organizations out there, it just kind of helps you figure out, it's such a big issue. Like, how do you get involved and help out? So thanks for answering that. I think that's all the questions we have right now. But I want to know the answer to John's questions. So, John, are you there?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The first scenario was catching out of season moi, and it was dead. The right thing to do is to release it. Okay. When you're in, because what's been happening, people try, when they catch some moi, especially a big size moi, their excuse is that, oh, the fish died, and I never like waste them, so you have them in, so they put them in the cooler. The only thing, you're going to be in possession of an out of season regulated species, so that's going to cause you to get a citation. When your fish catch is whenever an officer comes on the scene and inspects your catch. So when you release it, it's not you're not wasting it. It's going to be utilized by the resources. It's going to be used. Other organisms are going to take care of it. So that's the thinking, is that we gotta have the public change, have them change. So sometimes the only way they're gonna change if they get their fishing gear taken away and $100 ticket. Okay, and the next question, the last question was about one of those marine organisms. It's noted for killing people every year. So that was the opihi. But there's another name for the opihi that early Hawaiians they call it kai'amake. And that opihi gathering is I have two family members that got lost at sea, who died from picking opihi. So there's something that's why I take it in account, where safety is real important for when you're along the shoreline. Okay.
Thank you for sharing those answers, John, and thank you to both CJ and John for sharing their time and their knowledge with us tonight. But this is the end of our program. And again, we want to send a big mahalo to John and CJ and all the rest of DLNR who's been so giving with us. And we're hoping that this information will help us all to care and protect our ocean and wildlife. So we have one more session, and that's next week on July 28th. And that's going to be focusing on the island of Oahu. So please join us, spread the news. You can register on our website at librarieshawaii.org, just like how you registered for this one. Again, the recording will be sent out for this to everyone who registered, or a link to the recording will be emailed to everyone who registered in about a week. And thank you so much for joining us tonight, and have a great evening.